Well, what do you make of today's events at the National Assembly?
Well, just as other Nigerians and people all over the world are watching, it's a disgraceful act. I couldn't believe that we could degenerate to this point in this country. It's a shame that the hallowed chambers of the Senate, the Red Chamber, could be invaded. And the questions that arise is the Senate sitting in a public place? Is it not within the Upper Rock area? What happened to security? How could these hoodlums have gained entrance and also invaded with the Mace? It's something that's worrisome. It's unlawful, and I believe that the security agencies should take appropriate steps and get to the root of this matter and ensure that these hoodlums are gotten and they should disclose where and how they got into the Senate and brought this national disgrace for every one of us.
But this is the first time in the history of the National Assembly that there's been such a brazen invasion on the institution. What are the legal implications of this breach of security?
Well, it goes to show that a lot has to be done by the government to protect. Because if the National Assembly can be invaded in this manner, it means that anywhere in this country can be invaded by this sort of unknown person. Remember that in the country we've been battling with insecurity so much. But for it to get to the floor of the Senate, by persons who are not members of the Senate, how did they get there? So it's a very serious legal issue to be looked at by the security agencies in this country. I think this should not be allowed to happen again, and those who are responsible for this should not be allowed to go scot-free.
Now, the Senate has come out to say that Senator Omar Agege is the mastermind behind the snatching of the Mace, and he's been arrested by the police. If indeed he is found guilty, what do you think will happen to him as a lawmaker?
Well, I don't want to be preemptive, but I believe that since watching from the television, there's a prima facie belief that these people were walking down with him. If he has been arrested, I believe that the security agencies will follow through. Remember that by our constitution, he's still innocent. But despite the fact that he's innocent, he should be interrogated. And everyone else that was captured within the Senate chambers that came in then we should get to who took this best, the vehicles they used, and how they came in and how they left. Who was where? What about the gates? What about the CCTVs and all that? So we should get on to that. But since a senator has been arrested, he should be interrogated. We should get to the root of it. He should not be victimized unnecessarily, but we should, as an honorable member of the Senate, we should tell Nigerians what they knew about that incident.
Okay, now we cannot totally or entirely separate the events that led up to the build-up today of the seizure of the Mace. Is it morally correct and constitutional for the Senate to have suspended or compelled a duly elected senator to vacate his seat and deny his people of representation?
Okay, those are issues of law. But prior to the issue of law, there was politics going on with the amendments and all that. I'm not going to discuss politics because I'm not a politician. Well, I'm going to say that there are three arms of government. The judiciary is the proper party that will interpret whether what the Senate did was right or wrong. And I can tell you that if we begin to take laws into our hands in this country, we won't get far. We'll become a mockery object to both Nigerians and globally. The point I'm making is that if the Senate did this rightly or wrongly, should be subjected to the judiciary to interpret. Now, there was a decision in reference of a former former senator that was so removed, and the judiciary has said when it is not proper to remove such senator for more than 7 days and all that.
All right. All right. Thank you, Mr. Ananaba. Thank you very much, Mr. Paul Ananaba, for sharing your thoughts with us on the program.